Welcome. We're going to talk about one of the toughest scenarios any surgeon can face, the moment you unexpectedly find peritoneal metastases. This explainer is all about giving you a clear, evidence-based framework to turn that moment of surprise into a strategic, patient-focused decision.
You know that feeling. Every abdominal surgeon does. It's that moment when what you're seeing inside doesn't match the story from the outside. What you do in the next few minutes, well, it can literally define that patient's entire oncologic future. And make no mistake, this is not some rare event. Finding incidental peritoneal disease is a clinical reality. It's something that demands a strategic mindset, not just improvisation on the fly. Just look at this data from a recent review in Surgical Oncology. It really highlights how often these malignancies first appear as emergency. From colon cancer perforations to something that looks exactly like acute appendicitis, this is often the very first time the disease reveals itself. This right here is a critical distinction to make. The second you see those implants, your goal has to shift. It's no longer about a definitive resection. It's about strategic information gathering. The number one job becomes stabilizing the patient and preserving all of their future treatment options. These first few minutes in the OR are absolutely defining. The decisions you make can permanently impact a patient's eligibility for specialized care, like cytoreductive surgery. The pressure is on, for sure, but having a clear framework gives you a solid path forward. And the good news is, we can replace that improvisation with evidence. This review in Surgical Oncology gives us exactly what we need, a clear, defensible pathway for this exact situation. So let's break that framework down. The entire decision-making process really boils down to two simple but incredibly powerful questions. They're designed to stop you from making irreversible mistakes. The first question forces you to take a crucial pause. Ask yourself, is the carcinomatosis itself causing the obstruction, the perforation, or is this an incidental finding, and the real emergency is something totally unrelated, like acute cholecystitis? And the second question logically follows the first. Does this patient need an intervention right now to control a life-threatening symptom? See how this reframes the whole goal. It pulls you away from an unplanned, high-risk resection and points you directly towards stabilization. What this algorithm does is give you a defensible, evidence-backed path that actually legitimizes restraint in the OR. It gives every surgeon a framework to treat the immediate emergency, document the disease, and then get that patient on a planned, multidisciplinary pathway. Okay, so let's see how this framework turns into a practical, step-by-step action plan inside the operating room. Answering those two questions tells you the why. These next steps, this is the how. Now, before we jump into the checklist, we have to talk about the key tool for documentation and communication, and that's the Peritoneal Cancer Index, or PCI. In this kind of emergency, it's so much more than just a staging tool. You should really think of it as the universal language for describing the disease burden. A good PCI estimate allows a specialist center to immediately understand the extent and distribution of the disease, especially small bowel involvement, which, as you know, is a critical factor for deciding on resectability. And here's what that looks like in practice. By systematically going through these 13 regions, you create a comprehensive map of the disease. That map becomes invaluable for the referral and for the tumor board that's going to plan the patient's next steps. So here it is, the crucial 6-step checklist. Now, this is not about being passive. It's about being strategic. You document everything thoroughly. You get tissue for a solid diagnosis. But critically, you avoid doing things that create adhesions. Because every single new adhesion just complicates a future definitive surgery. And avoiding an anastomosis is key. It's not just because of the high leak rates, but because a leak can delay or even prevent that patient from getting essential systemic therapy. This entire approach is really built on one single guiding principle: shifting your mindset from impulse to strategy. This is a fundamental change in how we manage the unexpected finding of peritoneal disease. Let's be really clear about this. The goal of this first emergency operation is not definitive oncologic cytoreduction. The goal is to prepare the patient for it. Your job is to solve the acute problem while keeping every single future door open for the specialist team. This quote from Dr. Artur Rees just perfectly sums up the core philosophy here. In a field that is defined by decisive action, sometimes the most impactful, the most career-defining move you can make is choosing strategic restraint. It's the choice that truly protects the patient's future. Peritoneal oncology is a field that's evolving incredibly fast.
To stay current with expert insights and clinical updates, just like the ones we've discussed, you can subscribe to the newsletter. And for direct guidance on managing these complex cases, including documentation strategies and clear referral pathways, you can find more information right here. Thanks for your time.